Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Salam Media. I'm your host, Dakir Dawood, and I'm going to be taking you through for the next half an hour up until 8 o'clock. Well, we've got the interview that many of you have been waiting for, The Lion King with a plot twist. This time, Mufasa survives. After managing the Lions for 432 games, which included a Super Rugby, Currie Cup, British and Irish Lions matches, United Rugby Championship to add to that tally, and the Vodacom Cup. Who can forget? Managing the team in 5 Currie Cup finals, winning 2 of them, 3 Super Rugby finals, a Vodacom Cup champion, 2 British and Irish Lions matches, also 2 British and Irish Lions series, which Francois Steyn and Morne Steyn were the players that have been involved from a playing point of view, from a management perspective. Mustapha and Chippy Solomons from Western Province were the 2 lucky managers to experience 2 successful tours. Well, after contracting COVID 19 in 2021 and being bedridden for 3 weeks, which led to various other um, diseases coming his way, he's managed 7 months later to make it back and make his way pitch side at Emirates Airline Park. Tonight on Salam Media, Mustapha Boomgaard joins me and shares a bit of his experiences and everything he's went through over the past 7 months. But before we get into all of that, I mean, how can we forget the rugby part of things? Mustafa, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really appreciate you taking out the time of your day. And also, I know there's a big one, a Yexke derby coming up tomorrow. And you just taking, what, half an hour of your day before a derby like that means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Salam Zakir and salam to all the listeners, to all the Salam Media listeners. Uh, Shukran for inviting me this evening. It's definitely a pleasure and an honor to be here and to have you join me and interview me this evening. Um, yes, it's been a challenging few months that I've experienced, but Alhamdulillah, I make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm able to chat to you this evening and chat to our listeners. And yeah, so you fire away with the questions, and I'll gladly answer them.
As it usually goes. I mean, I feel like a fan on the other side of the table now. But looking at it, 2 Lions tours, what was it like? I mean, having the Lions come to town, and yes, okay, we weren't on the winning side of things. Or let me not bring my bias in here, and let's just say the Lions weren't on the winning side of things. However, the second biggest tournament after the, or let's say series after the World Cup, what was it like
Yeah.
just being involved in something like that?
No, that was definitely an amazing experience for me. Way back in 2009, when the Lions visited our shores in South Africa, I was very fortunate to be part of that management team. And again, back in 2021, I was again very fortunate to be part of that management team that looked after the Lions in Joburg. And again, it was just an amazing experience. Way back, we had guys like Jacques Fourie, Lawrence Parker, Andre Pretorius that were all involved in the game in 2009. And we had coaches like Jake White, Dick Meir, John Mitchell, all those coaches that I worked with during that tenure. But the guys that really stood out for me, Johan Ackerman and Suez the Brain that I worked with throughout, and that were part and parcel of those games against the British and Irish Lions. I think for any player, it's a huge milestone to play against the British and Irish Lions, be it in a provincial team, be it in a franchise team, be it the Springboks. And
Hmm.
for me to be part of this franchise and to be part of those games leading up to the games were just amazing. Back in 2009, when we had spectators in the stadium, uh, we had about 52,000 people at the game on a Tuesday night, which was amazing. The atmosphere was electric, and it was just great to be part of it.
Look,
And
with me, interviews are not always going to go as planned. And, you know, the weight that was on your shoulders, you spoke about what it means to a player. But what does it mean to you having such a rich cultural background and, you know, the love that you have for those who paved the way for us to experience the benefits of life that we experience today? You could be, I mean, your parents couldn't experience what it was like to manage a British and Irish Lions team. And how did you handle being a generational, let's say, not curse, but let's say a generational breaker, where you're the first of our generation to manage a game like this?
yes, Doug, that was again. I'm very thankful and grateful for the legacy that my parents and my family, left behind, and what they created, what the opportunities that came my way that obviously they never had, because in the old dispensation, we all know what the situation was. But Alhamdulillah, again, I had that opportunities. And again, I'm grateful for what my parents uh, taught me in life and what they gave me, the opportunities they gave me. And I mean, I'm sure, my parents are looking down on me, and every week in, week out, to be part of my rugby journey. My dad, unfortunately, didn't have the privilege to see me being part of the Lions, but I know from up above they're looking down on me, my mom and my dad. And but that's I come from a huge family. I'm one of 13 siblings, 9 brothers and 4 sisters. And my family, I cannot thank them enough. They support me every week, and with games like the British and Irish Lions, and international games against international teams like the Crusaders and the Hurricanes, and now all the URC, the European teams, they ride behind me. In actual fact, they sit behind the Lions bench and they cheer me on, and they make sure I know they're there for their support. So I'm eternally grateful for that. For my kids, my wife that has sacrificed many nights, many days, me being away from home. I'm really eternally grateful to them. My kids at one stage, um, a funny story. One day we're driving into the stadium, and one of my other nieces are in the car with me, and she tells my wife, she said, Auntie Yums, here's Uncle Musi's house. So that is how they know me, as being just at the stadium and being part of rugby. So yeah, again, very fortunate, Alhamdulillah, very privileged and honored.
And I mean, your hard work is testament to the team's performances on the pitch. The Lions went through, let's say, a dismal spell for many years, and Super Rugby just wasn't it. Victories were struggling to come by, they'd come through thin. And then you've had a blossoming, 4 seasons. For you being there from the beginning, watching the team through their lows, where you were basically holding up the rest of the Super Rugby log to the point where the Lions were now top of the log every week. You've experienced 3 Super Rugby finals. What was that experience like? I mean, each one had to be different, but which one
Yeah,
was
no,
your favorite?
yeah, definitely. Each one their own unique experience. My favorite final, definitely at home, 2017, with a packed Ellis Park Stadium, Emirates Airline Park. We had 65,000 people in that stadium. But that's just to give you some background. In 2013, we were basically, the Lions were kicked out of Super Rugby. We were out in the deserts, and we had to come back from there. And with the support, first of all, of the Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and then my family, and then the great team that I was with at that stage, Johan Ackerman, Swayze de Bruin, and JP Ferreira. We were all part of a team that had a vision and that had a mission. To our goal was to play Super Rugby final. So when we entered back into Super Rugby in 2014, our goal was to, in 2 years' time, we want to play in the Super Rugby final. And it so happened, I mean, we put shoulder to the wheel. We worked extremely hard. Our guys really worked very, very hard throughout pre-seasons, throughout the year, throughout the campaigns that we had. Uh, we had a committed bunch of boys. In 2014, when we entered into Super Rugby, we had absolutely no names in
Mm.
in the team, but with the support of the people that that was around us, Kevin de Klerk, Neville Jardine, Rudolf Strawley, it was really amazing what we could do with the team. We had guys like that were castaways from other provinces that joined us,
Mm.
Franco Mostert, a Andres Ferreira, Courtnall Skosan, all those guys that became Springboks from the Lions. And
Mm.
2 3 years ago, prior to 2015, 2016, nobody wanted them. And
Mm.
we got them together and we built that team. And all those guys committed. They committed to what we wanted to achieve. So in 2013, we played a Vodacom Cup final. 2014, we played a Currie Cup final. 2015, we played the Currie Cup final again. We won that final. 2016 was our first Super Rugby final. What an experience. We played the final in Wellington, New Zealand.
Wellington.
Uh,
Mm.
3 hours before kickoff, a hurricane came out of nowhere. The entire week was a beautiful week in New Zealand, and all of a sudden, the storm comes up 3 hours before the game, and throughout that the entire evening, it was just rain and wind like you've never seen before.
Mm.
But we just stuck in there and we went through it, and we didn't get the win, but the experience that we had in that final was just phenomenal. um,
Mm.
the amount of people that came out and supported us. People flew from South Africa. They flew for 48 hours after being stuck in Dubai, etc. They flew through to New Zealand and they supported us.
Mm.
In New Zealand itself, we had amazing support. There was people from all over that came out and supported us, and we were a very spiritual team. Christianity, Islam, all we embraced everything, and the people that seen that embraced our team. We had guys that was really inspired. New Zealanders were inspired by our spiritual experience and what we
Mm.
left on the field after that game. It was just phenomenal. Like I told you earlier, the 2017 final, a great experience at home at Emirates Airline Park with the capacity filled stadium was just amazing. To have experienced that was, sometimes I cannot describe it, but like the saying goes, you had to be there. You had to be
Mm.
there to experience it. And again, Alhamdulillah, I had my entire family there that day that came out and supported me and supported the Lions and supported the team on the day. Uh, we unfortunately we didn't pull it off. We had a very up until today. It's a
Can I
very
ask you the
crucial
question that
decision that
nobody
we
wants
need
to
to.
ask? Can I go for
What's
it?
it?
And I know
Ask.
where this is going. I mean, if you look at that tackle by Kwacha, all right? attempted tackle. And you look at things that happen in today's day and age in rugby. Does it still break your heart? Because I'm
No,
sure you would have gotten away with it on another day.
yeah. In today, with today's rules, we'd have gotten away with maybe a yellow card, not
Mm,
a red card. On the day, unfortunately, we got a red card. That was the rule of at the time. So, and you know what? I don't blame anyone because that was a rule in rugby at the time.
mm,
But we would have, if it didn't go, if that decision wasn't taken or that didn't happen, we would have comfortably beaten the Crusaders on the day. We played
mm,
with 14 men for almost the entire second half. But that, be that as it may, it was an absolutely unique experience, something that I will cherish and treasure for the rest of my life. I hope to tell my grandkids the tale as well, and they're growing up, so they'll get to hear it very soon, inshallah.
I mean, well, I mean, three Super Rugby finals, and I'm sure that could have taken you to very dark places in your life. I mean, nobody recovers easily from that. But I mean, having diabetes, septicemia, and intestine infections all after each other that quickly. How did you manage to stay positive with an illness like this? And how long did it keep you out of rugby?
Yes, Dax, it all started with this dreadful disease we're all experiencing right now, COVID 19. So I picked up COVID in July of 2021. And with the medication and that I had to take, it led to me being diagnosed as a diabetic. Um, I landed up in hospital. I was again diagnosed. I had septicemia, very serious illness. I landed up the first time for 22 days in hospital. I had various operations uh, to cut out the septicemia. I had to have a stoma bag installed into my stomach, and I still carry it up until today. And but Alhamdulillah, Dhakir, with praise, with du'as, with people sincerely and with conviction,
Mm,
making dua for the ill, I firmly believe that is what pulled me through. Um, the positivity of my family. Um, I tell you a story. My son was just phenomenal. Every day when he used to come into hospital, I landed up back in hospital in October. I was 28 days in ICU and in total 34 days in hospital. But just a simple story about my amazing son Zakaria. Used to come into the hospital, into the ICU ward, and I would lay there and he'd look at my face. And the first thing would tell me, he wouldn't ask me, he would tell me, Dad, you okay, eh? You okay? You're feeling better today. You're looking better. You're okay. And it's things like that that really
mm,
got me through the entire illness, that carried me through. My wife, my daughter, Alhamdulillah, they were just amazing. Every day they were there without fail. We had challenges with visiting. I could, at the beginning, I couldn't get visitors.
mm,
And that really got me down. It was very, I'll say it was very depressing at first. But as the regulations eased, I managed to get my visitors, one visitor per day, and then after that, it was I could get multiple visitors, but one at a
mm,
time, and that is what pulled me through. I asked, I requested from my wife and kids that they try and bring my brothers and sisters also
mm,
to come and visit me, and because we're such a huge family, they had to actually draw up a roster for my family to come and visit. But Zakir, it was just amazing, the love and support. And up until today, there is not a day that goes by that I get messages from my family and friends
Mm.
like yourself of support. Um, I get messages with praise every day, with du'as every day. My family reads praise, they read Surah Yasin every single day on behalf of me for a full recovery and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant me complete shifa, inshallah.
I mean, well, look, I know we've got a bit of a challenge, but we're gonna be pushing time right now. And you know what? As you know, you're loved by everybody in the industry from far and wide. And there was just a couple of videos that came through that we'd like to play out for you before ESCOM decides to put our lights out on this party. So we're just gonna roll through them one by one, real quick.
Shukran, Dax.
We're just having a quick technical issue, but we will be on those videos real quick. But just listening to those stories and reminiscing on everything and the highlights, I think if there's one thing that stands out for me, it's just the gratitude and the love for life that Mustafa has. And I mean, it just shows in the way he talks and with the passion that he talks for what he loves. So here we go. Here's the first video coming up, and we're just going to go through them real quick just so that ESCOM doesn't beat us to the party.
Hello, I'm Johanne Laki Singwane. I've been working with Mustafa for quite some time. He's a great man to work with, and it's a guy that he trusts you with his heart. You can believe in him in any way. It's a great man to work with, and yes, it's lovely to work with him. Thank you so much for this interview. Just enjoy to interview him there. It's a great.
Hi, my sister.
Hey Dad, we just want to say that we're really proud of you. It hasn't been an easy journey, but you've pulled through and shown how strong you are. We're really proud of your recovery, and we just want to wish you well. You've made a great comeback to managing the team again. Everything of the best for the season and your recovery.
Good day, everybody. Yes, my brother Mustapha, who is so passionate about the game of rugby, that a severe illness as he is not fully recovered, still walking wounded, but all of this cannot keep him away from the stadium. Over the past 6 months, he was in and out of theatre, one operation after the other. This really took a toll on his body. Lying in ICU for more than a month, as he also lost a lot of weight. He truly reminded me of our dear mother, who was a very strong person. What helped him pull through this pain and agony is his great fighting spirit, and that he always shows gratitude to firstly the Almighty and then to everyone else. We, the Boomgaard family, are really blessed to have him as our brother. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him and all the sick complete shifa and protect us all, inshaAllah.
Mr. Boomgaard, how are you, sir? Long time no see, it's been years. Mr. Boom, yeah, I'm very happy on your feet again, and you're looking back to getting back into the game, and I wish you best of luck. Yeah, Mr. Boom, I'm just very thankful for the years I got to spend with you, and it was awesome. You are awesome, amazing person, hardworking person. You always lend a ear. You're always free for players to come to you, and speak. And I always felt comfortable speaking to you. And I've learned a lot from you, Mr. Boomgaard. I'm happy you made a recovery, and I just wish you all of the best. Please take it easy. Don't go around and running Broncos, please, sir. Yeah, but I miss you, Mr. Boomgaard. I really wish you the best of luck. Yeah, and stay awesome. Mr. Boomgaard.
That was just a few
Yeah.
of them that came through. Hey,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Um,
I seen those
it
tears, by
really
the way.
touched me. Those were videos were amazing. Um, you know, my colleague Joe, that guy's been a rock star for me. He's really he kept the boat sailing while I wasn't there. He really is an amazing person. My brothers, like I told you, my family, I am entirely grateful to them. Um, Players like Lionel, Elton, all those guys at Franco, Malcolm, all those guys that I've worked with. I'm just it really makes me so proud to see where they are. The Springboks, the amount of World Cup winners that I've worked with. It just makes me so proud, Dax. And I I just want to say shukran to everyone out there. Shukran to all the supporters. Shukran to all my family and friends. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And may I continue to inspire you like you inspire me. And I look forward to being around for many, many more years.
I mean, which we know you will be, um, with the Qudrat of Allah. And you know what?
Inshallah.
This interview is just too short for a half an hour, and I think we're gonna need to do a follow up with with the complications that we have with ESCOM and everything else. But a follow up will need to be done on this. And you know what? There is a few other videos that I want to show you and play for you, but I will be putting that up on Facebook due to time constraints, and other external issues, as we all know. But I will be playing that for you. And there was a very special voice note that came through for you as well, which I'll also forward onto you. But Mustapha, thank you so much for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. Short and sweet. You took us on a trip down memory lane, and I know for the supporters that were tuned in, you gave us an internal experience of what it was like to be part of that Currie Cup team, to be part of that Super Rugby team. And I mean, for the team to be where they are now, fighting in the URC week in and week out, we'd like to wish you and your Lions all the best for tomorrow against the Bulls, and also wish you a speedy recovery. And we hope to be having those good times like we did before. Um, and I'm glad that we've come to a situation where we can. Well, it's looked like the lights have gone out on your side, and it's about to go out on mine too. So to all the listeners and viewers of Salam Media, thank you so much for tuning in. This was a very special interview that we've gotten. We've gotten the first lowdown from Mustapha before it went down to anybody else. So well, until next week, Mustapha, thank you so much. For everybody else, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.